We live in a world ruled by tyranny, where knowledge is suppressed and ignorance is glorified. A world where propaganda and misinformation travel the airways at the speed of lies. But in the midst of the violence and chaos, a great awakening is taking place. And as the media empires continue to collapse, a new network is forming. A network of truth, a network of courage, a network of awareness. Peace and greetings. You are now tuned into the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, where we examine current events, politics, health, finance, and topics of cultural relevance in America and throughout the world, while bringing you insightful interviews with guests that will both educate and inspire you. And now, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, ORRA the Informationalist.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo. How you doing? How you doing?
My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like ORRA, the Informationalist.
Peace and greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Welcome to the live broadcast of the Network of Awareness. Yes, we're doing an early morning broadcast. I'm a little late. Had some technical difficulties with the system. You know how it is when we're gonna do something great in regards to giving praises, all praises to the Most High. Wind up always having some difficulties because the forces that shouldn't be are always trying to block. But today's episode, and giving all praises that we are able to wake up this morning, grand rising to you, brothers and sisters. And this is season 5, Great Understandings. And this episode, I believe, is episode 66. Actually, no, it's episode 65. I got to make sure I change that. This is The Most High Makes No Mistakes. And I believe this is part 2 because I did a part 1. A while back. I think I did part 1 in either season 3 or season 4. I forget. So many shows have been coming out, so I tend to forget. But today's episode is going to be a really inspirational episode because I'm very much inspired. You know, the Most High has definitely graced me with a lot of ability to do things for others, for his children. And I'm just a grateful vessel. And in the background, we got the beat, The Vessel, or Vessel playing in the background. So I think this is a perfect episode to talk about, you know, just gratitude and appreciation for all the things that have happened up until this very moment here, up until this very broadcast, which I'm broadcasting on right now for this episode. It's just basically simple. It's giving all praises for that which is and always will be. And as long as we're doing the right things, as long as our hearts are committed to serving the Most High is going to find a way from you. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to always be pleasant. But you got to respect the journey. You got to respect the path that's paved towards salvation. You got to be grateful for all the things that you have in your life. Because if there's one thing I've learned is that things can change in an instant. When things are looking very grim and when things are looking really horrible, you're going through a refinement period. And that's what this episode is about. I'm going to talk about just the gratitude that I have for where I'm at right now, opposed to where I was just last year, but not even just last year, because last year was a fragment of of the trials and tribulations that I was going through for the past 7 years. Even beyond that, since I moved to the Sunshine State of Florida, which we're broadcasting out of St. Petersburg in the Tampa Bay area. So shout outs to all the brothers and sisters that follow the network of awareness in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. Shout outs to everybody in New York. Who else we got? Let's give some shout outs early. This is something that I normally do during the middle of the broadcast, but let's give shout outs early in this episode. Shout outs to the United Kingdom. All right. Shout outs to India, Canada, Mexico, New Zealand, Russia, Australia. And Australia's coming back on the scene, which is really nice because I think that the shadow ban has been lifted. So it's nice. So to all my brothers and sisters in Australia, keep, sharing this information. Have people link up on Spreaker or on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you love to listen to your podcast, and share this information and have brothers and sisters, tell them to download and sign up or with a subscription to one of those platforms is free. Because Australia, it got bad. It got to the point where I wasn't getting any downloads from Australia. So I'm glad to see that it's starting to pick back up again. Shout outs to Germany, Kenya, Philippines, South Africa, Bangladesh, Colombia, Nicaragua, Norway, Romania, Sweden, Ecuador, Japan, Argentina, Costa Rica, Denmark, Israel, and many others. And then peace and blessings to the brothers and sisters out in the FL, Florida, Georgia, New York, North Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Connecticut, Alabama, New Jersey. Shout outs to my daughter, ORRA. And my daughter's now going on 5 months pregnant. And all praises to the Most High willing. I will have a healthy grandchild in the next 4 months. And shout outs to Oklahoma. Brother Yazan is out there doing his thing. Definitely sharing the network of awareness with everybody out there. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Shout outs to everybody in California. Shout outs to Missouri, Utah, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Illinois, Michigan, Louisiana, Arizona, Massachusetts, Kentucky, Ohio, Arkansas, Washington, Indiana, New Hampshire, and D.C., and then the rest of you brothers and sisters in the states that are not listed. But we're almost in all 50 states. I think one of the only states that I'm not in, that nobody's ever downloaded the show or listened to it, is in Hawaii. But I'm pretty sure we can change that down the line. So today's episode, brothers and sisters, is not going to be a long one. We are going to play some fire music as usual. But this is the Most High makes no mistakes. And as you can see in the artwork, for those of you that are in the live broadcast right now, it says, trust God. Trust the Most High, people. Really do. This is going to be a spiritual cast today because spirit is everything. Energy is everything. Perception is everything. Awareness is everything because our awareness is based on what we perceive. Our level of perception is where our awareness exists. And depending on how deep our perceptions are and how in depth our perceptual understandings are of the reality that we are experiencing, the greater our awareness is. And it's something that I'm truly grateful for because, I'm learning to become extremely patient. Living in Florida, I've learned to become completely patient with life, with things that I would have never thought to be patient of ever before. And living in Florida, things are a little bit slower here than it is in New York. And I've come to appreciate that now because I used to operate off that New York minute for a long time. Still have a great sense of urgency to get things done. That I do. But I do it a lot more patiently, and it seems to be working out. little by little, it seems to be working out greatly. And giving all praises to the Most High for that, because, you know, when things are going bad, people, and last year, things were really bad for me. I just wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware. I really thought I was good last year from the beginning, even towards the end of 2021. I thought I was doing really well, but I really wasn't. I had a lot of snakes around me. I had a lot of demons around me. I had a lot of people that were pretending to appreciate the energy that I was giving them. But in the long run, it was very fake. And a lot of it has to do with the way society is. Society, spiritually, as a whole, is very weak. There's only a few of us that are strong. And those people, usually the Most High reveals those people to you when you are down and out, when you have a lot of adversity coming at you. And I'm noticing that coming up to Passover, we're having a lot of situations where people are changing up. Some are changing up for the better, and some are changing for the worse. And some are not changing at all. Some are just kind of lost in the sauce. And I'm just grateful that I can appreciate the refinement. I can appreciate the bad times, because even when it's bad, baby, it's still all good. And I think a lot of people haven't gotten to that point. And usually you can see that when somebody has to deal with adversity, and that adversity is keeping them limited, keeping them down and out, where they have no hope. They lose all hope, and they accept those trials and tribulations as their reality, and they accept failure as a permanent experience until they get out of it. And a lot of times, this is why repentance is so important, because you really have to forgive not just other people, but you really have to forgive yourself for your transgressions and do better, because we're going to make mistakes. But the highest power, which is our great creator, doesn't make mistakes. Doesn't make our existence is not a mistake. We're here to serve with great purpose. We're here to do great things. That kingdom of heaven is still within us, as long as we do understand that and hold ourselves upright with that understanding. This is a time where, as you can see all around the world, there is a high amount of debauchery, sinning, immoral behavior. Morality seems to be non-existent, right, brothers and sisters? Seems to be like it doesn't exist. Like it's nowhere to be found sometimes. But it's out there. But most importantly, if you choose to understand, you can be moral and be the example to show that it does exist. Most importantly, in your life, right? That's what it's all about. This is a situation we're in right now where Satan, the wicked one, and all this wicked malevolence that's in the world is working overtime. So we have to work overtime to combat it, to fight against it, because this is a fight. This reality, this place we call Earth, everybody's going through extreme challenges, as we always have. But now with the internet, see, the internet is like a doorway. It's like a portal. And we have a portal to see the reality of different places that are going on around the world. You know, I just saw a video, a brother that I follow on Instagram, and he puts out a lot of international posts, like stuff that's happening around the world. And I don't know how he gets it, but he gets some really good stuff. And something that he got recently was the one that I saw this morning, where it shows these, I believe it's Ukrainian soldiers that look like they're battling Russian soldiers, but it's fake. Oh boy, is it fake. Like they're shooting each other, or it looks like they are, but it's just blanks. And, you know, it looks like they're firing because you see the fire or the sparks coming out the AKs and all the semi-automatic rifles and all of that. But they show a scene where the guys that are shooting, I think it's the Ukrainians. I can't really tell which uniforms are which, but they act like they're dropping on the floor. So then when I guess I don't know if it's the Russian soldiers or whoever, when they come running up on them, they shoot them while they're on the floor, but their body doesn't move. You know what I'm saying? It is all staged, bro. It's like, and if it wasn't for the internet and for these cameras that are now on our cell phones and all this other stuff, you wouldn't know that this stuff exists. If it was up to just us watching the commercial media, because that's what we had to rely on at one time. We had to rely on the commercial media to basically understand if this is true or not. And you know, with the commercial media, they have a way of showing it to you while making it look real with all their camera effects and all that. And this is what they're doing now. They're still doing it. They've been doing it forever, since its inception. Since this thing called commercial media came into existence, they've been doing this. But now we got the internet. We got the portal of portals. And because we have the portal of portals, we can go into a portal or a wormhole, how it's described by the science community. We can go into these wormholes in an instant and actually see what really is going on behind the scenes. And that's kind of what this this podcast represents, brothers. It represents social awareness, self-awareness, and spiritual awareness, but awareness overall. And just to let you know, talking about that, we got some great guests coming on to the show next week. And for the rest of this year, it's going to be action-packed. I mean, from authors to, I'm going to have an author that's 15 years old that's written several books. It's amazing. We're going to have consultants, life coaches, retired veterans that have phenomenal stories. We're going to have fitness instructors, people who have revolutionized how we are supposed to eat and treat our bodies. So there's going to be tons and tons of information on this show. So I'm very much looking forward to it. But this show is really all about bringing awareness. Like when I first started this show, you know, the main purpose is to reveal this legacy of lies here in the United States, but all around the world, because the world has been living a lie for a very long time. Satan has had a veil over our eyes for a very long time. And little by little, the portal of portals, especially, but us brothers and sisters that are pursuing the truth, that are truth seekers, are really bringing this out through the portal of portals and just through example, through life, through that walk, right? Through that walk to the, like the Messiah taught us to. You know, a lot of people don't understand that in the scriptures has nothing to do with religion. The scriptures is a library of our history. And it's really, a lot of it is the history of Israel, but a lot of it is the history of the world, of everybody. It's everybody. But the principles and the teachings in that library of history, especially when it comes to the Messiah's teaching and the prophets and apostles and many scholars from days of antiquity, is all about self-awareness. It's being aware of what you are spiritually, which is that vessel to serve with great purpose, to be that example. And I can tell you that The reason why I titled this Most High Makes No Mistakes, this is part 2, is because when yesterday I was just, deep in thought, deep in meditation, and I was, connecting with all these people that I've been, putting on the back burner, and I had to let everybody know, listen, I apologize because I had a pretty rough last year, and it was bad because I started to, like I said, I started to kind of lose myself while I thought I was gaining something, but I really wasn't. I was actually losing more than I was gaining. And the beautiful thing is that throughout the whole entire process, the Most High had me protected and was guiding me and was purging things from my life, was purging a lot of things from my life, specifically like certain friendships that I developed, certain connections that I made with peers that I thought was living this truth of the Most High, but really wasn't. People that I thought had my back, but they were just pretending to care about me. Some of them did a good job at it, and some of them were very poor at it too. So some of it was easy to see and some of it wasn't. But what I'm grateful for is that I was finally able to see it. The Most High gave me the understanding. And it took some time, and it took a lot of fasting. Because one thing I suggest is that we should every single one of us should fast. Try at least doing it for 1 day a week. If you could do it for 2 to 3 like me, wonderful. Because it does amazing things, man. It's amazing how when you don't have nothing in your body, no food, or no water. So some of you may water fast, because I did a water fast for 7 days, which was pretty good. But just not having anything that's influencing your thoughts. And food, I truly understand that food does influence our thoughts. It does influence our bodies. Our bodies are a very sophisticated mechanism, a very sophisticated biology that we have, just like the plants and the trees and everything else and the animals. Everything works in a certain order. And when you're fasting, that order of clarity, it guides you. It's like the Most High guides you through fasting, because your level of perception and your level of awareness increases. It goes very high. And that's when you could be really dialed in. Now, you could be dialed in by eating the right foods, because when we eat wrong foods, I can't tell you how many times when I've eaten things like McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or stuff like that, that garbage, you get depressed, you feel tired, you feel bloated, you feel cloudy, especially when you're doing a lot of drugs, you get very cloudy. One thing is, not smoking weed anymore, I actually can now remember dreams. It's like I can remember dreams right after I have them. When I was, smoking, I would go to sleep and I couldn't remember anything when I wake up. It felt like I didn't even have any dreams, or being consumed in anything that's not good for you. Anything could be done in moderation. And, and I think that even when it comes to marijuana for medicinal purposes, I think it does wonderful things. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters that are educating people on that for the medicinal purposes, especially when it's ingested or put like a tincture in your mouth and stuff, and it goes into the bloodstream opposed into the lungs. But we'll do an episode on that another day. But this Most High makes no mistakes. It's so wonderful. And it's like, I ask you listeners, how many of you give your praise and thanks when you wake up in the morning? Because sometimes we don't remember to do that. If you remember, I did a show with Brother Julian, a.k.a. Demon Slayer / Brother Barnabas. And what did he say? He said that he's been guilty, and this is something he's been working on, is not going to his phone the moment he wakes up. He gives praise, goes into prayer. Or some of us open our Bibles up, open our scriptures up and read a couple of verses. to meditate on. That's the better way to wake up. Another thing that I suggest that I was educated on 5 years ago is when you go to sleep at night, unplug your modem. And I guarantee you, if you unplug your modem and make sure there's no electronic devices on, like your TV or whatever, because I'm still guilty of doing that. I leave my TV on sometimes when I go to sleep. And sometimes I'll have dreams on what I'm hearing in the background on the TV. Very weird. But when you can turn off that modem, what happens is those EMF waves, those electromagnetic frequencies are not interrupting your REM sleep. So just something to think about. But the Most High makes no mistakes. It's like everything is being guided. As long as you are doing the right, even when you're doing the wrong things, you're going to be guided to your destruction. Because we are, even though Satan is a master deceiver, Satan is not as powerful as people think. He just sets the stage as he's setting the stage around the world. And depending on how we react, we can go left or we can go right or we can go straight. And usually when we go straight, that's to the Most High. That's the straight, narrow path, the righteous tightrope, which I've described. And I'm going to do a little small short film on the righteous tightrope. Because most of us that are on that tightrope, we understand what I'm talking about right now. It's like you're going to be challenged, but you embrace the challenge. So you take the good with the bad. Whereas when you start going left or you start going right, you take the bad, but the bad stays with you. And the bad becomes really hard to overcome because you're not understanding what's happening. Why? Because you're not giving that praise. You're not giving that gratitude. You're not operating in a charitable way. Usually when you're going left or right, and you get put into these dark situations and you don't realize that the light is within you, you start to see things with a very pessimistic attitude. You have a very pessimistic attitude, very pessimistic outlook on things. And that's when things get really dark. But if you look at it from a positive perspective, it can change it all, especially when you are actually praying and really meditating on the information that the Most High is providing you with on your walk. With all of the things that happen from moment to moment, everything happens for a reason, right? Like what we spoke about on episode 33 of season 1. Everything, Robert Riopel said, happens for a reason. And that reason is there to serve you. And that's why I'm doing this episode, because there's a reason that I'm doing this, to serve you brothers and sisters with this information, to just have awareness of what it is that you're experiencing. And if it's bad, it's still all good, but just stay on course. Don't let the deceivers, don't let those people that have accepted the stage that Satan has set to be your, to be permanent. Don't allow them to have them to where they're influencing your life and you think there's no hope, because there is. And I can tell you from just last year alone, even since my nephew's suicide, it's been turbulent, but it's been great. It's been a great awakening, a great understanding to that which is and always will be. And serving and having these experiences and being able to have experiences, because you obviously that since 2020 and since this pandemic came out, a lot of our brothers and sisters are not here. I have family that's not here no more because of it. And many of you have lost family members as well to this staged, event that Satan had his hands all over. And not just through that serum that he's providing people to present day, but also just through the manipulation of it all, the constant chaos and turmoil within our own minds based on this thing that happened in 2020 and still is here to this very day. Just within our minds, though. And they keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. I'm grateful that YouTube actually hasn't pulled my channel. Because, boy, I went through 6 accounts before this one. I learned some things, though. See, I went through those trials and tribulations. Like, okay, I see you. I see how y'all do things. But I'm still going to find a way through the grace of the Most High. And by the way, we're going to be setting up Rumble within the next 2 weeks, setting up a Rumble account. And then I'm also going to tie it into Patreon because there are certain episodes that I'm not going to be able to put on YouTube for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. It'll be taken down and then eventually I'll get canceled. And I don't feel like starting another channel. But the Most High makes no mistakes. And let me just tell you a little bit, and I won't spend too much time because, like I said, this is going to be a short episode. But let me tell you, some of the things that I experienced last year was so bad that I really felt the presence of demons. Really felt the presence of demons around me. And it's really because of the people I was associating with. It was the way I was kind of stuck in dealing with these people. And the thing is that I didn't see anything else but dealing with certain people. I thought this was it. Not realizing that I was under attack while I thought that I was happy. I thought that I was feeling good, but it was all a great deception. Sometimes when we're living our lives and we think we're making all the right decisions, a lot of times we're not. And something winds up happening that the Most High reveals to you if you are aware. And it happened to me when I started fasting. I became extremely aware of certain things. But in reality, a lot of times we're aware of it all the time. We just keep ourselves in a state of denial because that's what I was in. There were certain things I was experiencing that made no sense to me. And I just brushed it off like nothing when I should have been paying more attention and be like, wait a second. Let's reevaluate this. Shout outs to Brother Ash out in the UK. Thank you, brother. Shalom to you. Most High Christ bless you as well, brother. And let's read this the scripture from Brother Allen. Shout outs to Brother Allen, also known as Aban. He wrote, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and ye be ought." It says, "Ye be ought not troubled, for all things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Wars, actual, and also rumors of wars. All praises, bro. Yeah, rumors. And also real wars, which is the spiritual warfare, right? And that's what this show is about, is being grateful for the opportunity to be in the spiritual war. It's an opportunity to be a participant in the spiritual warfare that we are currently in. I'm grateful for it. And this is something that I cannot prove. So I can tell you that it's just something that I believe to be true to me. I can't say I know this to be true because I believe it. And that is that all of us that are currently alive right now, we were born for these times. We was born to be warriors against this malevolence, against this legacy of lies. Many of you that listen to this broadcast have been really great warriors, have strengthened in this spiritual warfare as warriors. But sometimes we do get wounded. And sometimes we got to heal those wounds before we can go back out on the battlefield. And I can tell you that towards the end of last year, going into the new Gregorian calendar new year, not the official new year, because the official new year starts next month, but going into this Gregorian calendar new year, based on most people's perceptions here in the world, I had to do a lot of healing, a lot. And I did. And I give so much thanks to the Most High, because the Most High put the right people that was already in my life for years there as my support system, and then just added several others. Added all the right people so that I can continue to stay on that righteous tightrope path, or that righteous tightrope. Because I was holding on to dear life on that tightrope last year. I was hanging on it, about to fall to my very death. But I didn't. I didn't fall. And it was because the Most High lifted me up and had people there to lift me up, to push my feet up so I can gain balance back on that rope. And I'm so grateful for that, because if I would have continued on the path that I was on, brothers and sisters, I would not be here right now. I'd be dead. And you know, I wish I could have told you, well, it's something more simple, like, oh, I would have been dead because I would have overdosed on drugs, or I was committing crimes and I could have died that way. No, it wasn't even, had nothing to do with that. It was simply going along with certain desires, and at the time, lust, going into sin, not even realizing that I was in sin. I was in a deceptive sin. I was in relationships that I made mistakes by committing myself to helping certain people and being around certain people that never had my best interests at heart, never was trying to serve me. All they was trying to do was bring me down, literally to my destruction, purposefully. You know, I'm pretty sure that some of these people would have a different opinion, but the facts are the facts. The proof is in the pudding. But I'm here now, better than ever, because the Most High knew where my heart was. But I had to be shown a certain side of things. Because, you know, this whole thing with the faith, truth community, a lot of it is nonsense. A lot of the people that are in this so-called truth that they say they're serving the Most High, they're full of shit. Big time. And it shows in their actions. There's only but so long that somebody can keep a lie going. The truth is always going to come to the light, brothers and sisters. It always will. And I'm just glad that the truth came to a light last year for me in more ways than one. Because, boy, was I headed to destruction, self-destruction, headed to destruction. I could have been dead several times last year over some nonsense. But I'm here today still fighting the good fight for the Most High to serve. And I'm not stopping. And I'm so grateful for all the things that have come to pass, because now I've learned how to set boundaries. And if that's not something that you've learned to do yet, brothers and sisters, I suggest you get started. You have to set boundaries with people. You have to these days, because a lot of people are narcissistic these days. Even the people that educate people on narcissism. There's people out here educating people on narcissists, and they're the biggest narcissists ever. You know, I had a particular experience with someone like that educates people on narcissism, and they're a narc. They're one of the worst of the worst. And you have a society that most of the time, I can't say all, because when you're dealing with this truth and you're dealing with people that's dealing with the truth, they're not going to support that type of behavior. But when you're dealing with people that are very worldly, that are very much into their egos, very much into the man, they're very much venerators of man and woman. Oh, yeah. It can get ugly real quick. And things can turn upside down very quickly. Because that's where Satan likes to roam. That's where he likes to dwell, is the upside down. He likes to deal with everything that is corrupt and everything that is wicked. But we have to make the choice. So who's really wicked? Is it really Satan is wicked, or is it us? Because we're making the decision to be wicked. But when you start to understand that the Most High makes no mistakes, everything can change in the blink of an eye. And just to share that with you, let me tell you some of the things that happened last year. Last year, I was in a situation which many of you know when I talk about narcissism, when I was dealing with a narc, and I was dealing with several narcs. It wasn't just one. But when I was in a relationship, that relationship started keeping me isolated from not only from what the Most High truly wanted me to be and do, but it kept me isolated from reality. It kept me isolated from seeing things from what they truly are. And when you're kept in the dark like that, you're very weak. You're very susceptible to a lot of attack. And I didn't start realizing that I was getting attacked until I started becoming more aware of what I was experiencing. And that's when I started seeing and feeling and understanding like, oh, I'm surrounded by demons. And I started having the shakes and all of that, like almost like somebody who's taking the science appliance when they have, what's that called? What's the term? I can't remember it right now. When they go into shakes and they can't stop trembling. It'll come to me. Anaphylaxis. I was in a state of anaphylaxis spiritually. But the Most High had my back. And little by little, through the scriptures, through certain brothers and sisters that became my support system, and through the current support system I already had that I kind of strayed away from. Because I was involved with these demons, with these people that were lacking so much spiritually, but pretending that they were some holy rollers. When they really wasn't. They were just filled with hate, animosity, and misunderstandings. Nothing. There was no great understanding. There was a lot of great misunderstandings from these people. So I started not only becoming misunderstood, but misunderstanding myself and becoming a misunderstanding instead of having great understandings of the Most High and having a great understanding of what the Messiah has given me an example to live, and straying away from those examples and doing my own thing, living in the ego, edging God out while thinking that I was serving the Most High, which I was. And I think that's the only reason, because the Most High knew where my heart was. But I was very much delusional and I was very much deceived. But it happens. And that was one of the biggest learning lessons that I can share with you right now on this podcast, is that if you're experiencing some hard times right now, the first thing you need to do is forgive yourself for anything you've done to bring you to the point. Because I think a lot of times we tend to see our bad experiences as an external thing, where it's like, because of this one or because of that situation, this has happened. And even though that plays a part in it, it's really just you. It's really on how you're living. You're welcoming this energy into your life. You're welcoming these horrible experiences into your life. You're basically opening the door to them and saying, come on in. Make yourself at home. And they do, because you bring it upon yourself. But when you close that door and you open up a new door that welcomes nothing but, righteousness into your life, everything starts to change. And I felt that yesterday on levels that I can't even express into words. I just started meditating on how everything is going and has been going, and the people that have stuck around and the people that are gone. And I just say, thank you. Thank you for the haters that are no longer in my life. I appreciate y'all still to this present day, because you know what? A lot of those people that hate on me, they're still listening to my show. They're still downloading the show. They're still listening in every week, just hoping that something goes wrong to where this network doesn't exist no more. They're preying on it. They're meditating on that stuff. And let them. I welcome their hate, because the positive light and the righteousness is always going to beat it out in this spiritual warfare, in this battle. It always will. The Most High makes no mistakes, people. The Most High cannot be defeated. And Satan can't defeat us neither. He can only set the stage for you to defeat yourself through your wickedness, through your iniquity. And another thing too, about last year, it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, is experiencing this narcissistic abuse the way I did, because it allowed me to understand where I was weak at and what I needed to strengthen within myself. And the most important thing when it came to strengthening myself is learning how to set boundaries for life with any situation that I encounter. And that's what I'm doing now. And it's a wonderful experience. It's wonderful to set boundaries with people and just set boundaries for life, for your life experiences. That you can't overindulge in anything, especially because if you do, it's going to leave the door open for you to be sinning and just doing a lot of corrupt things with your life. And it's a process. None of us are perfect, obviously, but we can make the perfect decision for the perfect time, for the perfect moment while we live in this life. And the more we do that, we spend less time on making those big mistakes. And then we don't even make big mistakes anymore. We make minor mistakes and they get smaller and smaller. And the repentance stays there, but you're not repenting for something that's just like so huge in your life that you almost feel like, you know, you're never going to come out of it, or you do something horrible. You know, we all have the chance to repent, but when we can start repenting for the little small minor things, that's when you really start to have what I consider to be a really great, fulfilling life, because you don't have those major malevolent situations plaguing you. But then you have to be aware that even though you've been through that, doesn't mean you can't go back there, because you can easily be back there. Just like I'm constantly aware that what happened to me last year can happen to me again if I slip, if I don't stay disciplined in keeping the truth of the word of the Most High within me. If I start to stray away, it's going to happen again. Easy. So, like I mentioned, brothers and sisters, this is a inspirational episode. I hope this episode just gives you some insight and inspiration as to what could be, what should be, opposed to what is, and how things can change in an instant. And one thing I understand is that the Most High makes no mistakes, and through my whole entire life has been blessed. And I'm so grateful for that. And I wanted to share it on this network today because many of you are blessed. Even if you don't realize it, start to realize it now, is that you have an opportunity to make things happen, not just for yourself, but for others. It's called charity. And yes, we can be charitable to ourselves, but we really need to take that charity that we have within ourselves and share it with others. Like that ancient script that says, when you seek happiness for yourself, it eludes you. When you seek happiness for others, you find it in yourself. And that's what it's all about. And that's what this network of awareness is all about, is seeking happiness for others so we can find it in ourselves. To be aware of that charity, to be aware of everything that is good that's in us, that we tend to sometimes forget, or we sometimes are not even aware that it's there. But through the proper discipline, like fasting, like prayer, like just being, in the right environments instead of the wrong ones that you know you shouldn't be in, things start to change. Things starts to change drastically and dramatically. And giving all praises for that. So, like I mentioned, I got a pretty busy day, brothers and sisters. And like I mentioned, I'm scheduling a lot of interviews for next week and for, from the rest of the year. I just started doing that yesterday. I finally got a chance to reach out to brothers and sisters that have been wanting to come on the show. And then there's a bunch of new people too, sprouting up on my account, wanting to come on to the show. So looking forward to doing those shows and growing on Apple Podcasts too, because they always leave a review. Whenever I have a guest on my show, they leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And let's take a moment out there, a moment in this podcast to bring that out now, is that if you enjoy listening to the show, go on Apple Podcasts for Network of Awareness and leave a comment, like a review. You give, hopefully you give me 5 stars and then you just leave a review on Apple. You can also leave a review on Podchaser, and I think you can leave a review on Spotify. Not sure. I think you can. But I'm on all the platforms. So even though you may listen to me, let's say if you listen to me on iHeartRadio or Spreaker or whatever, and I appreciate the brothers leaving stuff in the chat rooms and sisters, or even the brothers and sisters that follow me on YouTube or Twitter and they leave comments. That's wonderful. But make sure to leave a review on Apple if you can. Or Podchaser, because those definitely help out. But giving all praises, man, I can't express enough how grateful I am to be alive right now. It's something that I say a lot, but when I think I have, when I think I mean it, when I'm saying it, which I do, that meaning becomes so much greater the next day and the next day and the next day. It's like every time I wake up, it just gets better and better of having this great understanding of what I'm experiencing as a spiritual being, having a physical experience, and being able to be charitable in bringing out this awareness on the network of awareness. And just on a side note too, I'm not the only podcaster on this network. And what I mean by that is that this is my organization. Even though this podcast I'm the host of, Network of Awareness is part of that Creative Media Concepts organization that I have, where I'm not the only podcaster. So we have other podcasts. We have One-on-One with Oxakai, and that's with Brother Oxakai. He also has a show called Alpha Talk Series. Definitely dial into Alpha Talk Series and One-on-One with Oxakai. That's on this network. And you also have the Golden Apple podcast, which only has a couple of episodes, and that's by Brother Billy Izzy, who's a life coach. And eventually Billy's going to start putting out more episodes. So definitely, if you haven't tuned into that, tune into that. Mark it down so when the shows start coming out, you know it exists. Now, a show that has recently started, a podcast that is blowing up, giving all praises to the Most High for that. It's because of the Most High it is. It's called the Council on Christ Relations, which is also on the Network of Awareness. If you haven't downloaded or subscribed or followed that show, follow the show. You're going to get tons of wisdom on that show, according to the word of the Most High, and how the brothers and sisters bring out that truth that is within the word of the Most High. It's called the Council on Christ Relations, and it's on all streaming platforms and where podcasts are listened to. So definitely listen, and also leave a review for the Council on Christ Relations, because they are a new podcast on the scene. I think that the Council on Christ Relations has only been around for a little under 2 months now. So definitely check them out, because they're growing fast. And if you're somebody who likes when people talk about scriptures and talks about Christ, talks about the preeminent one, and talks about how we should be dealing with each other in this walk. Us, the ones that really want to be about the truth and really have a strong faith in that which they cannot see but do understand does exist, and they feel it in their hearts, you want to tune into there and definitely leave a review. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's play some music real quick. And then I'll be back to close things out, because I just wanted to share my thoughts on how the Most High makes no mistakes. This is an inspirational show today. I'm not bringing out any information, just my experiences and my understandings that I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to be closing out on that when we come back from this break. And we're going to take this intermission to play some of this, what I like to call the spiritual fire and fellowship music. So let's get it popping. And this first song that I'm going to play, it's a brother by the name of The Free. And this brother's got some great music. He's out here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Check him out. He's all over SoundCloud and Spotify and all that. He's called The Free. That's DEPHREE. Check him out. This is a song called Peace. And we'll be right back, brothers and sisters. You're tuned into the Network of Awareness. Let's go.
Peace and love right now. Why, yo? I ain't playing about it. I need my money right now. I don't care about that shit, but the hunters give me power to change the world. I'm coming for the man's throat. We killing Mother Earth, yo, it ain't no fucking joke. Turn your TV off, read the book, stupid. Get your mind right, if we unite, we could do this. I was born to ride for the cause, wildin' out in my drawers, bad it, fuck the laws, they corrupt. I do my own dance, to my own drum, sing my own song. I ain't heard nothing real in so long. God soldier, yo, your time's over, mobbing with my posse, overthrow ya. Power to the people, love conquers all, kill what's evil.
It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Death Free. Peace and love, that's how I rock. And you know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo?
No one's innocent, we all play a part. If we turn our heads, then we ain't pure of heart. Takes courage, baby, who's coming with me? Who's down to step up? Who's getting busy on the punk beats? Pick your fucking trash up. Ocean's dying, threw your damn cup out the window. Microplastics for the kiddo. More fire, more carbon. More liars in the government. Folks starving, folks tired. Who's riding?
It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Death Free. Peace and love, that's how I rock. And you know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo?
We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? Hey, yo, spread it. All that hatred got to dead it. If we don't go together, then we gon' regret it. Headed towards freedom with no break, no exit. The man's time is over. You can say I said it. Spread it. All that bullshit got to stop it. Fighting against each other, yo, that's what he always wanted. Robbing for the guys, for my God. Get it on till I die. I'm a freedom ride. Change is gonna come. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love.
Music, Satan's favorite gateway because music can be a demonic portal. What I mean by that, everybody knows the popular quote, what goes in
You are now
must come
tuned in
out.
to the network
Right?
of
Because
awareness.
whatever you feed your mind, your soul, is going to eventually reflect in your actions and your thoughts.
It's a fight to the finish, just like Tyson and Tillis. The spirit guides me to finish. To touch you, I hope you feel it. No doubt, and that's for the pigeons. Fist right to the villain of evil, manipulating this generation of children. Things I see in the media got me heated up. Girls barely in their teens used for pedophilia. Celebrities simply misleading them. How can you live with yourself knowing damn well that you deceiving them? Feeding them nonsensical bullshit for their mental, like it's cool to be famous when you know it's detrimental. Y'all convince them that it's hard work, dedication, and God. Last time I checked, we give all our praises straight to Yahweh. Hey, come on, the music is more than just vibes. Keeps us pushing forward every day of our lives. It's my 9 to 5 to do it and do it right. You know I gotta stay on the grind. If deception was the only way that I could reach the me, I would stop rapping in a heartbeat. Music is a way of praising Father Yahweh Elohim, but Babylon tells you chase the dream. Infinite songs, but only 1/3 of it is living up to what it's supposed to be. Thank Elohim for the remnant who understands the power of music.
The fear of COVID got people so petrified. In one's life lies out and Satan chooses a side. A lot of righteous haters try to play both sides. They lack faith and work so spirit stays penalized. I realize life is hard without the Most High, and he who knows there's much to learn is really wise. Mad grateful to be alive to see the sun rise. Try to stop my vibes, I'm exercising swords and arms. I'm in my prime, righteously prepared to shine and grind. So shock the surprise every time you analyze my rhymes. Cause orbits align with stars you can't even find. I spit that light that leaves chills up and down your spine. You coulda, woulda, but didn't. Who you kidding? In my fans, frontin' forbidden. Who the fuck is you fibbing? You better think twice before you think I'm tripping on y'all children. If you feel hard, then we gonna make you harder. Hear it?
If deception was the only way that I could reach the me, I would stop rapping in a heartbeat. Music is a way of praising Father Yahweh Elohim, but Babylon tells you chase the dream. Infinite songs, but only 1/3 of it is living up to what it's supposed to be. Thank Elohim for the remnant who understands the power of music.
Feel like music influences your behavior or people's behavior?
If you allow music to do it, it's a difference. Like I said, there's people out here who could consume music one way and not, well, at least they feel that they're not affected by it. There's other people who live their life through music. Like anything that certain artists say is Bible to them.
The mind of the soldier whole starts deep as an ocean.
He chosen focus, devoted to get a crown and a road with it.
Road is narrow and focused, you can tell by the way in which he flows with it.
None of these rappers, y'all opposes a lost soul in them.
Holding them all accountable for the music controlling them.
Countless of 100,000s of soulless people supporting them.
Righteous music accounts, most folks won't go to them.
Don't worry about it, cause Yahweh knows who the chosen is.
Shalom to them for constantly dropping projects for y'all to spin.
Food for the spirit, once you hear it, now you confident.
Daily battle fighting hard like we in a boxing gym.
Babylon ain't looking tall no more, she needs oxygen.
Got the win, still got motions floating that we got to live.
Positive, roller coaster, corporate, watch cooperative.
Jab now, cry later, just not with the consequence.
Zombies swelling in the dark, my direction where Yahweh is.
Destined for greatness, but not the kind that you thinking of.
Pointless being famous in a realm that the demons run.
Yet, you still got takers who making vibrations.
Elated eagles and cadences leave you feeling all vacant.
Cause Satan tanks them and breaks them and makes them look real amazing.
They gaze and phase in the matrix, embracing the vacant awakened.
The cake and bacon temptation persuades to change your foundation. If Yahweh in your brain, you'll end up discombobulation.
In one's life lies Yah and Satan's truth aside. In one's life lies Yah and Satan's truth aside. In one's life lies Yah and Satan's truth aside. A lot of righteous haters try to play both sides. In one's life, lies out and say you choose a side. In one's life, lies out and say you choose a side. In one's life, lies out and say you choose a side. A lot of righteous haters try to play both sides.
ORRA, the informationalist. You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
You've seen him, you know how strong he is.
I've been pushing on. Your word is healing my soul. Looking in the mirror, I see where I need to change. I see where you heal my pain. The battle goes on the road on. Messiah coming soon, can't doze off. He woke us out the grave, dust is sitting off. I jumped inside my mirror where it's all thoughts. Abba, I pray that you protect me from my own heart. Clean me through the Messiah, I need my soul charged. I'm looking through the script, so don't hop, be vigilant. Pray for the chosen generation, they the final remnant. And they only getting in through repentance, no more sin. So I pray for all my brothers and my sisters to the land. Your word has healed my soul. Before my very eyes, I'm looking in that mirror, and it's not a day that I don't cry. I've been pushing on. Your word is healing my soul. Looking in the mirror, I see where I need to change. I see where you heal my pain.
Father, keep me locked in. I keep replaying my failures like it's a top 10. At times I hear you speak, but I ain't listening. I'd rather play hardball like I'm from Michigan, forgive me. Always fill me up when I be empty. Always give me strength when Satan tempt me. You do. Clean me up and put your spirit in me. Solution to the trauma that's within me. Opened up our eyes and helped to see the cause. Spiritual liberation, he done freed us all. Know the trolls is watching, we gon' overlook them. Ain't no being stagnant, we gon' keep it pushing.
I've been pushing on. Your word is healing my soul. Looking in the mirror, I see where I need to change. I see where you heal my pain. Healing my soul.
If I'm not mistaken,
now you see something. Now you see now. You done fucked up. You done fucked up.
I see.
No.
The one and only Oxaca.
Yeah, Marquise, ORRA. We about to hit him with something they ain't heard before. Let's go. Let me talk my shit. The truth is the truth, no matter how you accept it. I'm a Hebrew king that Babylon has rejected. Morals and soul intact, never neglected. Fuck these rap industry niggas, yeah I said it. I'm stuck when I'm stuck with, cause I don't suck dick. I don't sell brick, it is what it is. The Most High blessed me with this gift just to spit. And lyrically call you fake rappers on your shit. Blow for blow, let me know I'm ready to go. The difference between me and them, I still have my soul. Why sell it for a season when you promised tenfold? But niggas will be niggas, ain't that right, Momo? The truth is the truth, no matter how you accept it. There isn't like blood that's coded in my genetics. Bar for bar, so you can feel my kinetics. I know my purpose and my mission, it's accepted,
Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now.
I'm on a mission. Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission.
In the age of low wages and raging races, haters with mad faces that haven't been awakened. Chasing oasis to be rich and famous. Abrasive vibrations can be real contagious. We all vagrants in a wasted matrix. All basic sensations have reached the apex. Time to give the hopeless a conscious facelift. In stages and phases of inspiration. So don't say shit, it's just confirmation. I'm giving directions to misguided strangers. So do yourself a favor, stop spilling blood on the paper. One with the creator, we don't waver from no danger. His purpose with no caution, no hope in slow motion. A lot of painful emotions got me feeling explosive, but I maintain from implosion to stay away from commotion. It's into the slogan to be God's chosen.
Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission. Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission.
You can't win!
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
They know I got the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
This word is for the wise, either ride or you gon' die. It's the blind leading the blind. We've been fighting for our rights, now we fighting for our life. Still no light I see inside, but I see the light inside and pray I don't go out my mind. I got a 9 in my hand and a couple of bullets. All I need is a reason for me to load it and pull it. There goes one in the shoulder, another one in the leg. Gotta finish the job and put another one in his head. I was told it's him or me, I'ma live to see another day. Killer do the killing, I don't see it any other way. People do the talking, I don't care what motherfuckers say. Keep your social distance or you getting blown the fuck away. No more Mr. Nice Guy, I gotta be the bad boy. I'm on high alert, I got all of you niggas paranoid. I'm way too much at peace for you to ever bother mine. That's the bottom line, cause we all live in them all time. The 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
Do or die till I die, homie. I leave a nigga paralyzed, homie. What you know about the 9 on me? With that 45, feel like plies, homie. I look up at the sky like I'm the guy, homie. Got him grinding off the muscle you supply for me. What you know about your bestie trying to ride on you? I ain't never tell, bitch, I define loyal. That type of other shit just make my blood boil you. How you hate me after all the shit I done for you? Now I'm forced to get my head right, but that's kinda hard with you to dodge death twice. Respect life, but this ain't a show, I'm dead nice. I'm the one that could bring us to the next fight. Shed light over everything bad, I'm the one with a gun, it's a tech bite. Blah.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Taking my thoughts and bringing to Christ. Throwing down imaginations. I'm just trying to stay patient. Stand fast, can't wait. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Dodging demons like the Matrix. I'm just trying to go home. Swore made it that truth, so I just gotta move on. Ready for war, ready for death if it go like that. So if I die, I pray that I die for the most I got. I can't turn around, I can't look back, so it's all out war. I'm seeing the path so narrow, careful to not fall. Get up for it's too late. Sun come with a blaze with a judgment. In that day won't see where the sun went all black like sackcloth and the moon blood. This is a warning to go and repent. This is a warning to seek out the Lamb. This is the point where you go and examine. Gotta stay patient, I'm looking inside. Trust the Most High with all of my life. I love all my brothers, we suffer with Christ. When it feel like death, just know that it's life. Don't give up, Christ paid that price. Don't give up, Christ paid that price. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Taking my thoughts and bringing to Christ. Throwing down imaginations. I'm just trying to stay patient. Stand fast, can't wait. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side. We just gotta endure. Dodging demons like the Matrix. I'm just trying to go home. Swore made it that truth. So I just gotta move on.
Is a network full of awareness and gifts like ORRA, the informationalist.
Yes, we're doing it live, baby, on Wisdom Wednesdays. The Most High Makes No Mistakes, Part 2. Shout outs to my brothers, Demon Slayer. Shout outs to Take One. Shout outs to The Free. Shout outs to Yazan. Shout outs to my brothers out in the Bronx. My brother Lincoln. Shout outs to brother Lou Moore and Silva. Yes, so we're gonna close it out now. So I just want to say a few words before I depart from this episode, which is episode 65 of season 5. Season 5 being the season that is about the great understandings, and the Most High makes no mistakes. And if you don't know, now you know, and you should know. And if you don't know, now you do, and don't forget it. Most High makes no mistakes. Everything that we've been given comes from the Most High. We were created in that image of light, that everlasting light. It's time for us to start realizing it, brothers and sisters. Start being very charitable with all the gifts you've been given. Because what else are you going to do? You're going to settle for the deception? You're going to settle for all these people that you have in your life right now that ain't doing a damn thing for you, but bringing you down? Or are you going to lift yourself up and drop them like a bad habit and pursue better things, deal with better people, people that are serving just like how you want to, if you're not already? I'm truly grateful for everything I have. I'm truly grateful for all the people that have come in and out of my life, and those that have remained, those faithful friends, that faithful family of truth. And the only faithful family in truth is those that are serving in the truth, those that are truthfully serving. No, not those, I'm not talking about the pretenders. But you see, we need the pretenders. The pretenders are good to have around. I wouldn't say in our lives, but it's good to have around, because they are a constant reminder of what destruction looks like, so that we don't go down that path. They're a good reminder for that. It's good to see the haters doing what they do, because then without them, you wouldn't know what's true. You wouldn't know what the other side looks like. And then you would know how better to serve the other side that's right. And it's not easy. It's not easy being righteous. Sometimes you got to take a couple of L's. Sometimes you got to take a couple of losses. But you know, like Brother Jan said, he said, my L's, I take them as lessons. And I couldn't have said it better myself. That's beautiful. So learn the lessons. Be grateful for the lessons that you get to learn. Be grateful for waking up this morning. Be grateful for that grand rising, because life can be grand as long as you understand the truth, that the Most High and that the Messiah is the way and the life. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for tuning into this brief show of just me sharing thoughts today. It's been an inspirational cast. And I hope that has brought some inspiration for you to move forward with, because I'm definitely moving in the right direction these days. And I'm not caught up with the mumbo jumbo. I'm not dealing with wicked women. I'm not dealing with wicked brothers anymore. I'm just dealing with some people that are just trying to serve, some pure vessels to serve the Most High. And some brothers and sisters that are truly charitable. It's really nice to be around charitable people. It's not something I've been dealing with for a long time. You know, I got charitable family members, you know, my immediate family, they're charitable. That's where I come from. That's why I'm so charitable. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But as far as dealing with brothers and sisters within the faith, it's finally good to deal with brothers and sisters that are charitable. Because, boy, when you're dealing with people that are not, and they're just faking the funk, it could be a very horrible experience. So, be grateful, be charitable, because we never know how much time we have here in this physical three-dimensional realm called Earth. So make the most of it, because we only get one chance at it. And if we do have a second chance, we ain't gonna remember the first one anyway. So, brothers and sisters, when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. And don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel, find your way through the darkness. This is ORRA the Informationalist saying peace, love, and light, and all praises to the Most High in Christ, the Messiah, Yahweh Elohim, and Yahweh, the Messiah, Yahshua, the preeminent one. Giving all praises, brothers and sisters. Shalom.